in 10 people are narcissists, so chances are there is one in your family. And speaking as someone who almost died, if my funeral plans, if my death wishes weren't followed to a T, I would haunt the living who decided that for the rest of their lives. My soul would stay on this earth with the intention of ruining everything for the living until they joined me on the other side, where I would then beat the shit out of them. Almost dying taught me how to live. Being struck by a car left me in a 3.5-week coma with 15 broken bones and 16 surgeries to complete, including brain surgery. However, I woke up from that coma in an even greater place than I ever foresaw for myself. How? The universe will guide you out of the darkness and into the light if you allow it. Often, spirituality comes off as too highbrow. I'm not about that. Welcome to the podcast that talks and teaches about it through the lens of humor. Together, we'll harness positive energy and use it to work with the universe, all while giggling the entire time. Welcome to Gabriella Rebranded. Win most, lose some. All right. Okay. Hello. This is the first episode I'm actually recording once my podcast was already premiered. As you guys know, I was delayed because of the fires, but yeah, it's a couple weeks after my podcast premiered and it's been amazing so far, and the launch party was great, and we've had a very successful launch, so it's all really exciting, and I'm so happy to be recording as I can see the people's reaction to it, the public discourse, and it's really great. So thank you all for welcoming me, and this is going to be a bit of a mini-sode. It's my funeral plans, but before we get into the plans for my funeral, content rec and spiritual moment of the week. And the two are kind of tied this week. So my content rec is this book, Let Them by Mel Robbins. And I actually was not planning to share the book in the episode, but I'm giving it to someone after this. And then I was like, oh my God, I could take the book out and show you. But anyway, this is a New York Times bestseller. It wouldn't shock me if a lot of you have heard of it. It's all the rage right now. But my mom really wanted me to read it, so she got it for me and I read it. And holy fuck, it has changed my life already. They say it's going to change your life, and it does. It's 300 pages, but only 4 times of reading it, I finished it, and I'm not a crazy reader. Like, it's a really fast, easy read. It's really important. It's really great. And it basically what the let them theory teaches you. You are only in control of yourself. You cannot control other people or other circumstances. So what let them is essentially saying that, like, when people are mistreating you, at whether it's at work, in relationships, with friends, let them, because you can't control them. And the amount of energy that we waste being so concerned and so upset with other people or things we can't control when there's no benefit to that, just start letting them. And the way that let them is different than letting it go. Is letting it go can almost give your mind the sense that you're giving up, like you're letting something go. You're giving it up, you're choosing to walk away, you realize you're not going to win. Whereas let them it gives you back the power and it places you above the problem. I am letting this happen. I am allowing this. I am letting them do that. I am letting this be that way. That's why it's more effective than the notion of letting it go. But what comes in with let them, the problem is it can be a bit of an ego trip, which we need when something is triggering us. That's what we need. But it can almost be like, let them be stupid. Let them be low fucking vibe. Let them be pathetic. Let them do that. Let them behave like that. I'm not going to do that. So it can be a little bit of an ego trip, which we need. But the second part of the book, what it's teaching you is let me. And that's what stops the ego trip and brings you back down to remind you that you're just like everyone else. Because let me says, okay, I can only control myself. I'm letting them do that, but the situation is still the situation. So what am I going to do to make myself feel better? What am I going to do to rise above this? What am I going to do to show up to this and to show the universe who I am? And it's already had an effect in my life. It had an effect in my life from like the first day I started reading it. And that's sort of tied to my spiritual moment of the week. This happened Monday. I'm recording this episode on a Wednesday. For like the 12th time, someone hit my car again. Yes, I'm dead serious. Someone hit my car again. And this time I was parked and I was parked and I was walking away. I was like maybe 10 feet away from my car and I heard it. I heard my car get hit. Kind of like when the valet heard my body get hit. Life imitates life, except they're both life. I heard my car get hit and I turned around and it was this guy and I was like, did you just hit my car? And he like rolled down his window and he was like, yeah, sorry. So how the universe was supporting me there is that I happened to be right there when he hit my car. Like, imagine if I had been inside, or I had gone away. I was going to the chiropractor. Like, imagine if I was inside by this point and he didn't know what to do because there was no person available, blah, blah, blah. But I happened to be there. So those quick thinking skills, used to cars bothering me, took a picture of his license plate, but then he pulled over anyway. And yeah, that's annoying. He hit my car. He bashed in my headlight. Like the bumper's messed up. The corner's all scraped. But I literally thought, let them. I was like, let them. And I was just like so calm. And I was just like, all right. And he like kept apologizing. I was like, it's okay. Just give me the money. Just give me your insurance. Just give me the money. Just give me, I'm letting them. Because, being upset, being angry, that's only going to just make the problem worse. It doesn't change the problem. My car was hit, whether or not I got upset or stayed in a good mood, like the problem was the problem. The facts were the facts. Breath support. Like nothing was changing. So like by staying calm, by like staying in line, it just allowed me to then let me move some work meetings that I have tomorrow so I can get to the car rental place as soon as possible and get to the mechanic as soon as possible. Let me make sure that I do a workout class that's a little bit earlier so I can go right after it's done and get this car situation sorted out before rush hour gets really bad in LA, because rush hour gets really bad in LA. Let me work out with my roommate how the tandem parking is going to work, because with my depth perception in the rental car, it's going to be harder because it doesn't have the car that I drive. It's like a BMW i4 or whatever. And I purposely got that car because with my depth perception issues, it's like the best in terms of like it backs you out like automatically of the spot that you're in. It like has like a lot of sensors. It like shows you like literal lines to keep you in, and it makes parking and pulling in and out very easily, which I struggle with. So like, let me talk with my roommate. Let me figure out how exactly I'm going to navigate this, because like now I'm in a Toyota that doesn't have all those features. So like, let me figure out with my roommate how exactly we're going to do this, because we have tandem parking. So that was where the let me came in. Let them was not getting upset, just rolling with it, like let them do this. And then let me was doing what I could to make sure that I handle this as quickly, as easily, and as efficient as possible. So let them. And now we can talk about my funeral plans. I don't know why this is a controversial or unique take, but I think it's really important that we all have plans for our funeral, not just theoretical plans, but written down, specific, explicit plans, okay? And these plans, if they're written down, they must legally be respected, I think we all need to have that. And in the event of our passing, albeit timely or untimely, we're all going to die. That is happening. We are all going to die. As the kids say, the only things that are guaranteed in this life are taxes and death. So why not have your final farewell to this present reality be as curated to yourself as possible? Like, let it be reflective of your personal brand. Isn't that what you want your goodbye to be? And reason number one that written down funeral plans are very important is there is a lot of drama started after someone dies, okay? There's a lot of trauma. They're like, Dad wanted this or Dad wanted that. We're going against Great Aunt Judith's wishes. Some family members start swinging their dick around, and instead of doing what the dead wants to do, they make everyone do what they themselves wanted to do, which is beyond fucked up, but unfortunately too common. 1 in 10 people are narcissists, so chances are there is one in your family. And speaking as someone who almost died, if my funeral plans, if my death wishes weren't followed to a T, I would haunt the living who decided that for the rest of their lives. My soul would stay on this earth with the intention of ruining everything for the living until they joined me on the other side, where I would then beat the shit out of them. If you write down your funeral plans, it is indisputable what you want, and you get to maintain your rightful place as the main character of your funeral, which you are. You're the titular character. You should be the main character. And if you write down your plans, you also get to be the writer of your funeral and the director. So you get to do all of it. You get to be the lead actor. You get to be the writer. You get to be the director. The A and B plots have come directly from you, the dead, the departed. And if someone chooses to deny that, that is asking the universe to anally fuck you with a cactus for the rest of your life. You are literally asking for that if you deny written down wishes of your dead family member. Like, I don't know why you would do that. And if so, everyone's going to hate you, and it is absolutely deserved. It is more than deserved. So, if you write down our plans, they have to be respected. And personally, I'm going to leave money aside in my will so I can also be the executive producer of my funeral. And this way, no one can go against my funeral plans by saying they're too expensive because I've left the money. I've left the money. So they're, no. All you have to do is make the calls to get the shit. I've left the money. All you got to do is swipe the credit card, okay? So I also think if you can leave some money aside, all right, I think that's not a bad idea. And there's got to be a way. I know some lawyers, I'll talk to them, but there's definitely a way to make sure that that money is legally bound to go towards your funeral and nothing else. That's got to exist. That's got to be a thing that's out there in the world. So let the record show that this is your warning. Especially if I leave money behind to pay for it. My funeral plans, my wishes for my death are to be followed. And if you don't follow them, it is just because you're a cunt and not the fun kind. You feel the need, an unhealthy need to make everything about you. And that's the opposite of being the main character. That is some recurring character beta bullshit. That's what that is. That is not main character energy at all, okay? So, sit down, follow the plans, and mind your business. The second reason why I think it's so important to write down your funeral plans is for your own psyche, your own human living psyche. It makes death more digestible if you write down your funeral plans. It makes your own death feel like very normal, and death should be normal. Like, we're all going to do it, okay? That's the rule. There is no exception. Like, we're all going to die. So it's something that should feel really normal. And for me, via these plans, my funeral is a comedic bit at this point. Like, I am so fucking jealous of everyone who gets to go to my funeral. I am so jealous. The gala I have put together, like, it's gonna be incredible. And From the moment we are born, we are dying. That is the reality of the situation. That is how life works, whether or not you like it or not. And then if you write down your funeral plans, you can make them as fun and crazy and as authentic to yourself as you want. You can truly celebrate yourself. And that's what death is supposed to be. Your funeral is supposed to be a celebration of life. And this allows you to get everyone excited about celebrating you, maybe in a way you wish they did while you were alive, but they never did. But if you write down your funeral plans, they fucking have to. They fucking have to, because you'll haunt them if they don't. I'm so jealous of every single person that gets to go to my funeral. I've curated the most fabulous event. It's gonna be a soiree, okay? It's on par with the Met Gala, all right? It is the invite of the season. My funeral combined with the wake, parties of the decade. Multiple, because there's two things. And let's get into it now. At this point, I add that the ideas, plans, and curated playlist for my funeral were developed years before I was hit by the car, years before I danced with death. I don't recall when the inspiration hit me. I think it was always ingrained in the Gabriella ether. However, when I did almost die that one time, there was a little bit of drama around it where, when everyone thought that that was going to be my fate, my friend Christina was like, I have no idea how to tell Gabby's mom that she wants Down by Jay Sean played at her funeral. So I was like, oh, I know exactly how we're going to get around this. I'm going to write down all these plans. And immediately upon leaving the hospital, I would like to clarify that the Spotify playlist for my funeral has lived there since 2017, but the explicit plans have not. So immediately upon leaving the hospital, I typed it all up in a Google Doc. I shared that Google Doc with some of my closest comrades so that when I peace out forever for reals, it's there. It's the Google Doc is there. It says exactly what I want. The link to the Spotify playlist is even pasted in the Google Doc, so that's easy to find at GabbyT18 for anyone interested. But yeah, it's there. It is clear. I wouldn't know if it's concise. I want to say clear and concise, but I don't know if it's concise. I'm kind of a rambler, as you can all tell. Now, my idea for my funeral and wake extravaganza is derived from how I would like my final goodbye to be. And as funerals in the U.S. traditionally stand now, they are so damn sad. They are so damn sad. No one wants to go to them. It's like, ugh, I gotta take off work or travel home to go to this depressing shit. Isn't taking off work supposed to be fun? Funerals don't make it fun. They don't make it fun. And I do not want my family, my friends, I don't wish them sadness. I don't wish them pain. I wish them love and light. And as funerals stand now in the US traditionally, they are just people gathered together to cry. I don't want that. I don't want that. It makes me really uncomfortable. Not in like an uncomfortable way, but it makes me feel really sad when I see one of my friends crying or my family member crying. I don't want that. That's not what I wish upon them. That's not what I want to curse them with essentially when I die. I only want to give to them. So my last wish for my friends and family is to not be united in their grief and tears, but rather to send it in my honor. Get lit for those of us who can't anymore, And personally, I don't follow organized religion. So I don't want a priest or anything of the sort being the one who says the last things about me and leading the goodbyes. I've been to too many funerals where the dead themselves didn't really give a fuck about organized religion, yet there we are gathered in a church. And that just doesn't make sense to me, and it's not something that I want. And if that's important to you, if religion is important to you, power to you. Your funeral should absolutely be at your temple of worship. That's the point of what I'm saying in the funeral plans. It should be curated to you. If that's what you want, if that's what's important to you, power to you. We should respect that. We should show up wherever it is that you like to worship. I am not condemning those who follow organized religion at all. Some people in my family are very Catholic. That's not what this is about. What it's about is that it's on you, okay? It's your thing. And when it comes to anyone's death, the person who died should have complete control over the situation, and we should always pay respect to their wishes. That being said, Gab Titty, don't fuck with organized religion. Okay, I'm very spiritual. As you all know, I have this fucking podcast, but I personally don't get along with the Catholic Church. Sorry, Grandma. I have my reasons for not liking it. So, whatever stations of the cross you choose to follow or not follow, that is fine. But, Gabriella don't follow no stations. So, you keep doing you. I'm going to keep doing me. God, the universe, energy, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same fucking thing. All right. So for me, no church. That is number one. Believe it or not, none of us actually know what happens when you die. No one has reported back. So no one could say with 100% confidence that this is what happens when you die. None of us know. It doesn't matter how much you believe in your faith, like I believe in what I believe, it is theoretical. None of us know. Your belief can be your belief to your core, but there's always that 0.0000001%. You don't have confirmation, okay? You don't have 100% proof. And that's all right. That's what makes being alive so fun, because there's a constant mystery to it. Yes, I've been confirmed. Yes, I've made my communion. Yes, I've done all the Catholic jazz. I've gathered in the church on Sundays to eat the saltine cracker, #cannibalism that we pretend is body. I don't understand why that is something that we do. It doesn't make sense to me, but we do it. However, I did all that because I was below the age of 18, and that's what my parents wanted me to do. But now I'm above the age of 18. I'm 27, so we're going to do what I'm going to do, okay? What I want to do. When it comes to my funeral, the day of and also the week of, we can't forget that crucial part. There's a few things, general things that I want to, take care of right off the bat. We need to get these right away. So my first thing is that my funeral should start at 3 p.m. No one should have to wake up early. No one should have to wake up early. Everyone should be allowed to sleep in, take their time getting ready, and you're going to need some time to get ready because both my funeral and my week are themed, okay? So you're going to need time to get your outfit ready, get your costume ready, do your hair, do your makeup, get in theme. So we need to give people their time to get ready, and I don't want anyone waking up too early, so 3 p.m., okay? I don't want any of this 9 a.m. funeral. No, not for me, 3 p.m. And to dress in theme, especially, it's important because it's a requirement to gain entry. And there will be security at the door that is monitoring that. If you're not in theme, you're not getting in. Doesn't matter if you're my grandma. Pay attention to this, grandma. You have to be in theme if you want to enter, okay? And my funeral, on top of that, it should only be on a day where the weather's good. I've had to stand outside at funerals where it's fucking freezing in the middle of December, and no. That's not what I want. That is not what I want to wish on anyone. Not for your girl. Okay, that's not going to work. I want my passing to only be remembered with the fondest of memories, not, oh my God, it was so freezing at that funeral or it was pouring rain. No. So if I die in New York in February, the funeral shouldn't be until April, May. June is an ideal month. I like June. And if I die in California, Los Angeles in August is probably too hot to have a funeral. So you should hold off till September, October. That probably works a little bit better. The wake can be held immediately because the wakes are largely indoors. So the wake can be held that's also themed. The wake can be held immediately, but the funeral we're holding off until the weather's good. And it is really important that the temperature, because you can, if it's indoors, you can curate the temperature to warm, to cold, but it's really important that the temperature is the right temperature because Like, my funeral is black tie themed. So I don't want guys in their tuxes like being too hot, you know? And I want girls to be able to wear as little of their little black dresses as they want. So like it's the weather is really, really important. I don't want anyone uncomfortable. I want everyone happy. I don't want anyone like I want people to be happy with what they're wearing and appreciate how good they look. If it's raining, postpone the funeral, but that's a given. Listen, I don't want to stand outside in the rain while I'm alive, so I definitely don't want to do it while I'm dead. And I don't want anyone's like dresses or outfits getting wrecked. I don't want heels getting wrecked and like I imagine, like, I don't want people in the mud. And I imagine a lot of people are gonna buy new dresses for this event. I mean, at least I would. And if I would do it for you, you should do it for me, okay? If I'm spending all the money to throw this fucking event, the least you can do is toss in a floor length dress and a sports jacket. Like, that's not a big deal. So, like, I would expect most people to buy something new. And by most, I mean all. Like, that's what it really should be. If you're honoring me, I would do it for you. And to be clear, men are not limited when I say black tie. If they want to dress trendy, black, like they're not limited to a tux. If they want to dress trendy black tie, like Harry Styles, like follow in his footsteps. Not Timothy Chalamet's though. I don't like the way Timmy dresses. And Timmy, if you're watching this, you're not, but if you are, this is not knocking. I'm not a stylist, so you don't have to heed my advice. I'm not a stylist. But for my own damn funeral, yes to Harry, no to Timmy. Don't dress like that, okay? I really don't like it. That wouldn't work. And I'd be really upset from upstairs if I saw you trying to do that. My wake, so the funeral's black tie. My wake is faux fur themed, okay? And we can make it cold, even if I die in the summer, but we don't want it to be too cold because some of the best faux fur outfits, I would know, and I've worn a lot of them. Some of the best faux fur outfits are like a dress or a little two-piece set underneath a big fur jacket, or like, I love a fur shawl moment. I love a fur shawl moment over like a little dress or something else that you're wearing. So we don't want it to be too cold. We want it to be like probably 50s, like maybe six, like, you know, yeah, 50s. I think 50s work. 50s probably makes sense. We can really play around with this. Faux fur, it gives you the ability to have a lot of fun. And it has to be faux. It can't be real fur. I do not support that at all. It has to be faux. And security will also be checking that at the door. And if it's real fur, you're not getting in. You're not getting in. So you need proof that it is faux. Okay. You need to have that view. And faux. All right. Back to the funeral, the day of. It needs an MC. My funeral needs to have an MC. There will be auditions held to find out who's the MC. The funniest person wins. However, 2 to 10 other people that audition for MC, or they can audition for this part specifically. They're going to gather and separately tell a story, their favorite story or their favorite things about me. And not sad. I don't want this part to be sad at all. These stories also need to be giggles, smiles. Hopefully we're making people laugh. Nothing sad. Just stories reflecting how great I was and how hilarious I was. It is very important that we keep the crowd entertained at this part. This shouldn't take too long, maybe like 45 minutes, depending on how good the stories are. We want to keep the audience engaged in Gabriella reflection, you know? We want to keep them engaged in Gabriella conversation. We don't want them like wishing bored or like zoning out or wishing that it was over during the retellings of my memories and triumphs. We want them excited. And also, you always want to leave them wanting a little bit more. You always want to leave them wanting a little bit more of Gabriella. So be stingy with this. You know, let's make sure that they are satisfied by the content, like it's long enough to do that. It's, you know, filled with enough that I'm honored. It is my funeral after all, but just long enough that people are enthralled. And kind of could have done with a little bit more. Maybe we should split this up like 50-50 between the wake and the funeral. Like maybe, especially if they're like really far apart, depending on when I die, like maybe that's the best way to go. We're going to workshop that a little bit more. And also, if we split it up in between the wake and the funeral, I'm talked about at both events. And if I can't talk about me because I'm otherwise preoccupied being dead, you best believe someone else better be talking about me. Okay. Um, also at the wake, I want one hired professional griever just because that's an actor who is hired. Yes, you can find this, it exists. It's an actor who is hired to like sob at the funeral and act really sad. And I want one person hired to do that because I think it is hilarious that someone makes their living, people make their living off of this. And also like, I'm theatrical. I love the drama. So like, I definitely want this one person there, but I don't want any of my actual friends and family like sobbing. I only want someone who is paid to sob to sob. Do you get what I'm saying? But yeah, I definitely want that. That would be so fun. Yes, I absolutely want dancing pallbearers hired. That's where pallbearers perform a choreographed dance routine with your coffin. Yes, this exists. And I don't want to use this tradition. I know it's not my culture. I intend to pay respect to it because I love it. I resonate with the dancing pallbearers so much. The dancing pallbearers are from a coastal town in the Accra region of southern Ghana. And a little bit about them, the founder, Benjamin Adu, he absolutely deserves a shout out. And I think there should just be a little more talked about, the dancing pallbearers, because I do want to pay respect because I fucking love this so much. And when I found out that they existed, I was like, oh my God, there are other people that agree with me that funerals should be a celebration of life. African cultures tend to really give to funerals what I think should be given to funerals, and they're truly a celebration of life. The US got it fucking wrong. Oh, and speaking of my coffin, like the dancing pallbearers dancing with my coffin, anything involving my coffin is purely symbolic, okay? It's purely symbolic because I want my ashes cremated and compressed into a diamond, a black diamond specifically. And I don't want to be put on some like jewelry because what if like my great, 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 great granddaughter is like, a fucking low vibe bitch? I don't want that. I want to be passed down as a family heirloom from generation to generation. And then they can be like, this was your great, 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 great aunt. That's what I want, okay? Just little black diamond passed down from generation to it would make great decor. It'd make great decor and you would always get people asking about it. And you could be like, oh, it was this woman from like centuries ago. She died. Like, I mean, if the earth is still here in centuries, I don't think it's going to be here in like 40 years. So whatever. But you know what I mean? Just like, oh, this person who was apparently related to me, she died. And now we get to the really good part. Okay. So the playlist. I have a fully stacked 98 song playlist, 5 hours and 48 minutes that can be played throughout the duration of my wake and my funeral. But there are a few songs that I want to specifically highlight because these songs I want played at very specific times and places. This playlist, again, saying it again. So I don't need to say it again. But the playlist can be found on my personal Spotify at GabbyT18. Okay, so first off, I want my coffin to be lowered into the ground to Down by Jay Sean, specifically the candlelight version. You can look it up, look up the candlelight version. If you hadn't heard it, he obviously only created that song with the intention that it would be played at funerals. Like there was no other logical place where that song would be played. Like there could be no other reason he would have made that. And this way, my coffin is going into the ground. Like when the chorus hits to down, down, that's when my coffin is going into the, you get it? Do you get it? Do you see the imagery? Do you see the symbolic, the metaphor? Fantastic. It's amazing. Ooh, this one's really good. If I Die on a Friday, Last Friday Night by Katy Perry has to be played at my funeral. And that one's self-explanatory. I don't think I even need to get into that one. Oh, I Will Survive must be played for the irony. That would be the funniest moment. Well, actually, maybe someone will surprise me with their story. But right now, I Will Survive for the irony. That's the funniest moment. Going off that, Only the Good Die Young by Billy Joel needs to be played regardless if I die old or young, because either way, it's funny. Like either way, it's funny. So that definitely needs to make an appearance. During Story of My Life by One Direction, there should be a montage of my life. And at one part, like, I want there to be an instrumental lyrical karaoke break, and my hologram is going to come out and perform spoken word. Okay, like that would be so cool. Ooh, my coffin, and remember, it will be light enough to do this because it is not made to carry a body. It is purely symbolic. It needs to crowd surf to Zero to Hero from Hercules. I just imagine a coffin crowd surfing. Like I need that to happen. Okay. Um, and again, it will be light because it's a formality, so everyone will leave. So it'll be fine and everyone can carry it. Okay. Lastly, the last song that it needs to be played is Everyone Needs to Leave to Closing Time, because that is a requirement of all gatherings that in the 21st century, that closing time is the last song played. Or have you never been to a fucking party? Well, if you haven't been, you're gonna go to your first one. If I die in LA, I want my wake to be catered by Osby in Venice, and I want my funeral to be catered by Perch in downtown LA. And if I die in New York and the celebrations are in New York, I want the wake to be catered by Hendrick's Tavern, which is a local restaurant near where I'm from on Long Island. I'm from Manhasset, New York. It's in Roslyn. And the funeral, this one's up for, I haven't locked down where I want my funeral if I die in New York to be catered by. I'm still thinking about this. We're still workshopping this one. We're still considering. There's a lot of different options that we have. Ooh, and now for the drinks. So these are the drinks that are going to be there. Bottomless espresso martinis with tequila, tequila shots, extra spicy margaritas, old fashions, red wine, orange wine, rosé. Absolutely no white. I am not saying there will be no white wine at my funeral. There can also be Coronas. Need to be a ton of limes though. And there is obviously non-alcoholic version of all these drinks offered. Guys, I have a fucking brain injury. Obviously, that's part of my brand. So there are 0 proof versions of all these drinks. I've had amazing non-alcoholic espresso martinis, tequila, spicy margaritas, wine, beer. I've never had a non-alcoholic old fashioned, but I'm sure it's somewhere and I'm sure there's a great one. So we can definitely get that. We can definitely make that happen. Tons and tons and tons and tons of weed in all forms, edibles, joints, pens, bongs. If it's marijuana, I want it there. And Gabriella Rebranded was rebranded with shrooms. So all the shrooms in the world. Shrooms chocolate, dried shrooms in raw form, shroom drinks, all the fucking shrooms. That's mainly what I want people to be doing at my funeral and wake. And finally, the most important part of the entire event, how I am styled. Okay, so for my wake, I either want to be in a cheetah or leopard print juicy couture tracksuit. Have you met me? A lot of you probably haven't, but that is the most on-brand thing for Gabriella Rebranded. Tracksuit, sweatsuit that is cheetah print or leopard print juicy couture. Okay, definitely want that for my wake. Now for my funeral, I want to be in the dress that Lily Rose Depp wore to the Met Gala in 2019. I think about that dress 3 times a week, okay? It is Archive Chanel. It's beautiful. It's black with gold chains. Like, that's my brand. Look at what I wore to my launch party. So that is the dress I need to be buried in, and I will leave the money behind to get the Archive Chanel. And obviously the curls need to be curling on both days. And my makeup, I definitely want gold eyeshadow. That's like my thing. Like, I try to do my eyeshadow differently. I purposely try to not do gold, so I don't do gold all the time because gold's my favorite color. And people always say that I only wear gold eyeshadow, and I purposely don't. But it's because gold looks the best because there are gold flecks in my brown eyes. So you remember the gold stands out. So on gold eyeshadow, definitely eyeliner wings, and I want the face done as well, but I defer to the makeup artist on what exactly works because I know dead skin, it can be a little weirder. But gold eyeshadow, or not weirder, but different, weird, different, whatever word you want to use, but gold eyeshadow, black eyeliner wings, and also everything else. But I defer to the makeup artist who knows more about working with dead skin. And do you see how comfortable I am talking about my own death? Let's all get to this place, all right? Funerals are a celebration of life, a good on you, a job well done. Like, my life is to be reverent, not make people sad. And like, I don't live with the purpose of making people sad. I live with the purpose of making people laugh and making people happy. And like, let me go out as I lived, committing to the bit and finding the laughter in the darkest of times. Like, that is how I want it. And my homework to all of you, all of my listeners, is to write out your funeral plans, okay? Make them and write them down. Plan your fucking funerals. And if you do, you will receive an invite to my personal funeral extravaganza. And that ticket to my gala, to my soiree, that's going to be worth 50K. Like, you can quote me on that hashtag manifesting. Like, the ticket to my funeral, it's going to be worth that much. My funeral is going to be the most exclusive event to cop an invite to. So, yeah. Anyway, subscribe, follow me, leave a review, hit me up on Instagram at Gabriella Rebranded. This has been Gabriella Rebranded. Win most, lose some. Send me your funeral plans. If you write them up, send them to me so I can write you down as like someone who needs to be invited to my funeral. Okay, thanks. That's it. Bye.